When it feels like the world's falling down, I'll be there to lift you from the ground. Don't be afraid, just let me in, love me and down. How could I say your pain in the lies and all your secrets? I'll take them all, I'll be your keeper. Let's run away, no need to stay alone now.
Sorry guys, Gary called in. He said that the pharmacy said that they didn't have my medicine and that the doctor didn't call it in, which I know the doctor called it in because I got my medicine, picked up my medicine on the 17th or on the 16th, and I went to the doctor on the 17th, my primary doctor, and he wrote, that's who writes my prescription for my Ambien and my other pill to keep me asleep. And they've been calling for like the last 4 days, asking me, do you want to refill? Do you want to refill? Do you want to refill? And it's like, I just picked it up. No, I still have it. And so with it now being the first, I need my Ambien. Like, I still have one right now because it's just the first, but I usually call it in and then pick it up on like the second in the morning. But I do call it in on the first so that I can have it. And that was another thing. I know this is a rambling video. This is not even what I wanted this video to be about. The Roseanne thing. I have very, very bad insomnia. So her line on Ambien, I wanted to whoop her ass. I mean, I wanted to fight her over what she said about that woman Valerie Jarrett. But then when she brought Ambien into it, I'm like, hold on now, bitch, hold on. Like, yes, I was mad. I was more madder about the ape slur. But then, see, and because I was still in my feelings, and her putting Ambien on top of it, lying on Ambien, because I've been on Ambien since I'm thinking like 05, but I did take a break. See, I was with Orville, because that's when I had my very first sleep study. I really wouldn't, like, was we together? That might have been on one of our own times, because we was off and on all the time, me and Orville. Dang it. I don't remember when it was. It had to be before 06, because that's when we officially broke up, me and Orville. And then I met Gary in 07. But I dated Dale from like 06 to, like, me and Dale, we didn't date that long. And I think me and Dale's relationship was a relationship that shouldn't have been. Not that it was terrible. I'll make that today's video. I was gonna talk about my favorite songs, but I'll just make it. I will make a little story time about my videos. See, I met Orville when I was 18. I graduated high school May the 18th. I got my apartment April, but I didn't move into my apartment until May the 20th, and I hopefully I don't cry, but I met Viv on May the 20th, and like I said, she had a cane, and the type of apartment that I lived in, and it was inside of a house. It was, and I don't know what kind of house. I mean, I can't explain what kind of apartments them were, because they were 4 people that were like independent, but like all of us there, we had, you know, some kind of mental little thing. Like my thing was depression, and like, you know, so I was on medicine for, I was on Zoloft, Risperidol, and I was on Wellbutrin. Sorry, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Wellbutrin. So I was on that when I lived there, and I didn't need it. I didn't know I didn't need it. I was 18. Anyways, I was still wet behind the ears. I thought I was a big girl because I was 18 and I graduated high school. I don't remember what medicine Viv was on, but she was on a little something. And then it was a woman there named Yvette, and she was, you meet her, nicest woman you can ever meet, and you would not think that she was crazy. And when I heard her story, and like I said, I was the youngest person there. I was 18. The next youngest person was 50, which was Margaret. She lived right across the hall from me. But well, let me just do that, because I'll just go from everybody. Okay, so Margaret, she wasn't technically crazy. She just, I don't think anything was wrong with her. She loved her onions. Yeti boss, did that woman love her onions? And she literally was in school for 15 years. Like, I'm talking about, like, and I knew her for, like, she was in school before I even met her. And like I said, she's 50 years old. She was the next youngest person there. And, but she, every day, she's like, yeah. And it wasn't that she, because, like, she was going to, she was going to school to get her GED. Well, she passed the test like 10, 15 times. But because she, I can't even explain it. She kept going back to school. It wasn't that she wasn't smart. It wasn't that she couldn't pass her GED. Like I said, she kept passing it. Every time it was time for her to take the test, she took the test, she passed it. But then, when the new semester of GED school started, there she was, in front row center. So, I don't know. And she was little tiny woman. And I remember she was telling me that she used to be carried around on a pillow because she was small, and like her bones were weak. I remember her telling me that. And then, like, when I met Gary, and I forgot what happened. I seen a picture of his granny, and I'm like, is your granny named Margaret? And he goes, no, my grandmother's name is Dorothy. And I'm like, well, does she got any sisters? And Gary's like, yeah, and he was saying the sister's name, and I'm like, no, she looks like Margaret. And I wish I had a picture of Margaret. and like show you a picture of Gary's grandmother, because to me they look like identical twins. And the weird thing about it is both of them had the same exact problem. Not Mary. Margaret never in her life had a period. Not even one time. Gary's grandmother never in her life, not one time, had a period. Now, Gary's grandmother did get pregnant because she had Gary's daddy, and Gary's daddy had him, and Gary had Eric. So Gary's an only child of an only child, or Eric is an only child of an only child of an only child in him. Get off my coffee, you son of a bitch. Sorry, had an ad on my coffee. So that was Margaret. And but she was nice. She was really, really nice. I didn't have no problems with her besides her wanting to talk and her being all up in your face, smelling like onions. And then, see, that was just me. See, she was right here and I was right here. And then down the hallway on the bottom level, all the way at the front, because me and Margaret, we were at the back door. And then at the front door, but we all had our own apartment. When I say we all had our own apartment, it really was. Like, Margaret was in a 2-bedroom apartment. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. But our apartments, like our actual 2-bedroom apartment, was inside of a house. I know that sounds weird. It really does. But that's what type. It was sort of like a boarding house, I guess. I mean, I've never been to a boarding house. I'm imagining like the boarding houses back in the 60s. Like, you go in and it's like you're renting a room in a boarding house, but only instead of you renting a room, you're renting an apartment. Because when you open up your door, you're walking into your apartment. That's how it was. Like when I unlocked my door, I walk in, and then my living room was like to the right. Straight on from my front door was my bathroom, and then kind of to the left, it's like slightly to the left was my second bedroom, which had my dining room table. Now my apartment was furnished. Everybody's apartment was furnished. And then, like, further to the left was my kitchen, and you had to go through my kitchen to get to my bedroom. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment, but I used my second bedroom as a dining room. And like I said, my whole apartment was already furnished. I didn't have to bring anything except myself and my stuff. And so that's what type of, I guess it was like sort of like a boarding house, but I don't know if that's the right description to explain it. And then, okay, so you go down the hallway, and you get to, all the way down the hallway, you get to some steps, and then there was another apartment. Like, there was like some steps to go upstairs, excuse me, and then there was like an apartment right in front of the steps. Now the apartment right in front of the steps was the apartment that was connected, like, because she lived in the, no, she didn't live in Fisher. I think she might have a 2-bedroom apartment too. But her name was Dorothy. Sweetest woman, and country as she wanted to be, Dorothy. But the bad thing about Dorothy was she smoked. And Smoking is putting it lightly. She smoked so much that my living room curtains were yellow because of her cigarette smoke. Because like I said, her kitchen was my bedroom wall. And she smoked. She used to, like, she smoked so much that she went through a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. And it might not have been a full day. It might have just even been a half a day. But they rationed out her cigarettes. Because they said, Dorothy, you can't be smoking that much. Well, her kids come by. And her kids will bring her like, I think like 6 cartons of cigarettes at the staff members. Because we had staff members.